whilst we get the team photos sorted, I'd like to make a special announcement for some of the people right very back. Looking at them sort of vaguely like that. We've got two very special classes here from Pocket Community Primary School and Redmill Hill Infant School. Can we get a big cheer for the primary school students at the back, please? We try again. Can we get another cheer, please?
Welcome back to the ESF European Team Championships here, live in Birmingham. What a day it's going to be. It's the semi-final stages for the women's and the men's competitions, and this is the order of play, so huge amount of squash coming up for you. Even more than I actually realised, to be quite honest. I've been taken back here. England will take on Belgium kicking off. Then we've got Scotland against France in the women. France will take to the court in the men against Spain. That will be a massive, massive match. Very entertaining. And then England take on the old foe Scotland in the men at 4 o'clock. So it's a lot of squash matches. It's a 4-man team for the men. And it's 3 men. 3 ladies for the ladies. It's been a very, very good couple of days. We've got Victoria Lust, who will take on Yara Delagrange, also known as Hannah. Sarah Jane Perry, she'll play Nele Gilis, and then Laura Massaro will finish against Tinne Gilis. We have had the information through, and this is not completely because we're still working on trying to get the information through via the World Wide Web, but if it is a foregone conclusion, there is a 2-love scenario, then the third position. The third match is a dead rubber, and that will not be played. But don't quote me on that, because we've been playing out all the ones in the pool stages, because every game is very, very important at that stage of the competition. But now we're into the knockouts. Speaking of knockout, we've got Simon Park joining us again.
Morning, Joey. Take that as a compliment, although it's not meant as one.
That's a very odd way to start. Of course, you know, of course. Why wouldn't it be a compliment? Simon is with us. We're just sorting out a few technical difficulties. I haven't knocked him out.
I'm back in the room.
Yeah, it's a very positive to be known as a knockout.
Yeah,
I mean, I
think it is.
Why wouldn't it? You know,
yeah.
it's a saying that is positive.
Definitely, yeah, and that's what I said. I was very happy that you referred to me as that.
Don't get carried away. That's not Rod Stewart. That's Ronnie Flossux. I know that he's done a lot of gigs in Birmingham, Rod Stewart, but he's not here at the Edgbaston Priory Club, sadly.
That isn't Paul Weller, that is David Campion. A bit more like Macca, actually, probably, David Campion. Yara Delagrange played in the Belgian Nationals, lost to Nele Gilis in the semi-finals, ended up coming fourth, but she doesn't play on the PSA World Tour. So she's up against it, really against Victoria Lust. Victoria Lust, of course, 13 in the world, 30 years of age now. Played so many big matches around the world, Victoria Lust. It's a tough ask for Belgium today. Of course, they do have Nele Gilis at number 1, who is moving up the rankings, and she's going to, of course, have a good go at Sarah Jane Perry. Great low kill there from Delagrange. It's a good lead for the Belgian. I think that's that looked like it was out of court.
Well, this is a great start.
Well, I think the referee calling Victoria Lust's ball down? No, just
I'm not sure if he knows.
It's pretty early.
I don't know if it's my colour my colour cells, my colour rods in my eyes, but rods and cones, which determine black and white and colour. But is the England kit slightly orange?
I think it is a little bit. I think it's in contrast to one of the other teams that were a bit more red. You can see the difference. I can't remember which team it was.
Funnily enough, it would be Wales, because they're
Wales.
Red.
Yeah, it was Wales. I told you my short-term memory is non-existent. Ask me anything about 1993.
Well, this is a very positive start for the Belgian. Never come across her before on Squash TV. Big semi-final. They have been in the top 4 seeds, so they were seeded to get into the semi-final stages with the Gilis sisters. Strengthens the team considerably. Oh, that's.
I wonder if one of the school kids caught that. That would have been impressive.
Yeah.
I think that lady there has found it. Good effort.
That's the teacher.
Yeah.
Well, the kids absolutely loving that. They weren't expecting.
That's a highlight of the first game for them.
Out of court.
Sure. So 3 game balls for Victoria Lust. She was a couple of points down in this first game, but managed to turn it round nicely. Yeah, clever shot.
Well, first blood to England. A very, very good performance in the first game for the Belgian number 3, Yara Delagrange. But it's Victoria Lust that leads 1 game to love after 6 minutes.
Quite a solid start for the non-PSA player, Delagrange. She wasn't overawed, played a couple of nice shots with a bit of disguise. A couple of times managed to get in front of Victoria Lust, who looked a bit rusty, old Lusty, in the first. But got things together, tidied up her game a little, swerving around her opponent there, and then the trickle boast here for a winner. 1-love England. For those that perhaps weren't tuning in yesterday, Victoria Lust based in Canada these days, British Columbia.
Change of racket there for Delagrange.
lovely shot.
Very, very good indeed.
Got onto that nice and early.
Yeah, she read it.
Again, that backhand side on the volley, that was very positive. That boast whipped in.
She's got to be. Oh, she just served it out.
Well, I hope there's a fine for that in the Belgium team. A lot of the teams have been fining their players for serving out.
It's a good source of revenue for the for the national bodies.
Yeah, in the England side, it all goes to Lee Drew.
Nele, so very, very strong on the volley. We've seen 2 winners on the backhand, then on the forehand. Fair play. I mean, you know, she's not full time on the PSA, and she's certainly knowing how to play on the glass court. You've got to volley and take it early when you've got the opportunity, and she's certainly done this.
She has. She's not holding back at all. Doesn't look particularly nervous on there. It's good. Nice finish there.
Yeah, it was good improvisation because there was possible.
There's quite a bit of interference going on behind her. Bit of hustle bustle
from Brussels. Well, she's got a bit on her mettle here, Victoria Lust. Very, very competent second game here.
I suppose it's the beauty of the European Championships. She did. There's quite a few non-pro players in both the men and the women's events of various nations, slightly lower down the order or even higher up the order, and they're getting the opportunity to play some top players in the world. I just put my teeth back in there, Joey.
I know, it just popped out. This is an unbelievable second game. Really impressed by Delagrange. 8-6. Hopefully, just needs to press one more button, the referee. Let's get. Volleys. You can see the frustration there of Lust. It's quick attacks and it's working very well. She's not getting into long rallies. And it's now we're getting there. He's just obviously got, the referee's obviously got ginormous fingers and he just keeps pressing the double buttons.
Well, if I was coaching Victoria Lust in this match, I'd try and get her to hit a little bit lower or a little bit higher. Well, shoulder height around the middle is not the one against Delagrange.
No, not at all. Locked in at 9-all. Second game, Lust leading by 1 game to love. bit better. That's a good squeeze. It's tight. Well, it's good pressure from Lust in the end, and she had to show why she is top 16 in the world, because Delagrange really took that second game to her. 14 minutes so far, and it's now 2 games to love for Victoria Lust.
Yeah, good effort from Delagrange. As we keep saying, she's not a professional player, but she's gone out there and she's been determined to give it her best and take the ball early where she had opportunities. She's obviously a good volleyer. She feels comfortable attacking the ball, which is works well on these glass courts. But she's playing against the 13 in the world, Victoria Lust, who didn't really panic, even though got quite close in this second game. There was the squeeze at the back of the court, and then the change of direction and the error. 2-love England. So England 2-love up in this semi-final against Belgium. Good performance so far from Belgium against a world-class player. Of course, this is looking like it's going the way of England, and the second match between Nele Gilis and Sarah-Jane Perry should be a good one. Certainly an outside chance, perhaps, for Gilis. That's good utilisation of the front wall there from Lust. Again, great lift from Lust, really practicing those lobs. Perhaps she feels like that's something she could use in the final should England get there. Certainly has worked quite a few times so far on this court, in various matches. There we go again. Lovely finish.
Yeah, so professional here from Lust.
Well, she's being a little bit more ruthless in this third game. tidying things up a bit better. Oh.
Looking pretty tired out there, Delagrange.
Well, I'm not surprised. We've almost reached the 20-minute mark.
So Lust very close now, just 1 point away from numerous match balls. Just see Sarah Jane Perry standing up. So Victoria Lust converts. It was a very good effort in the second game there from Delagrange. England get the first win on the board in 20 minutes. Victoria Lust and then now get ready for her possible match tomorrow. And we've got the Gilis sisters, but before that, Parky, over to you.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult in the third for the Belgian player, the Belgian amateur. She performed so well in the first two, all credit to her, but Victoria Lust was not having any of it in the third game. A bit she battened down the hatches and was a bit tighter and more accurate, made life difficult for the Belgian. 3-love England.
Well, the schedule, as I was bumbling and rambling along, now I'm back. Sarah Jane Perry will take on Nele Gilis. It should be a cracking match if Gilis is able to. She's had some very, very good success winning the Irish Open. So confident going into that. She narrowly lost out to Camille Serm here in this ladies event as well. And then possibly Laura Massaro against Tinne Gilis. We're not sure yet how that's going to pan out, but we'll be back very, very shortly with the second match between England and Belgium in this women's first semi-final. Welcome back for the second match in this first semi-final in the women's competition. Sarah Jane Perry of England, the English #1, taking on the Belgian #1, Nele Gilis. Nele Gilis, fresh off a terrific victory in the Irish Open, winning that event without dropping a game. Also showing a lot of improvement on the PSA World Tour. She's in the mid-20s in her ranking, but she's been so close to scoring upsets against players ranked a lot higher than her, losing out 3-2 in the Black Ball Open and also 3-2 in the Laguna International against England's Laura Massaro. So the level is definitely better than the ranking at present. She had a very tough match with Camille Serme. She gained balls for that to go into 5 as well. So shows you that she's a danger. And Sarah Jane Perry, who's trying to get back to full fitness after sorting her elbow injury out. She didn't do the physical work afterwards, and she's been back on tour and finding it quite tough. That shows the level of the women's game. You have to keep the training going and the physicality. One of my contemporaries, Simon Park, who's next to me. Parky, whenever you kind of have an injury, if it's upper body or whatever it may be, you need to train around it. Any advice for those younger players or current players watching? You know, if you have an upper body injury or even certain areas in your legs, you can do other training to keep a general fitness. That was something my dad instilled in me when I started playing professionally. We saw it with Nick Matthew after a shoulder injury. He was on the bike. You know, you don't need your shoulder or your elbow for the bike.
Absolutely, yeah. It always makes me laugh when people say they've got an injury so they can't train. You know, there's other areas that you can train in. You can't be injured all over your body. There's always something that you can find to do to keep you active and keep you fit. And sometimes, you mentioned Nick Matthew, sometimes you can actually improve because you learn things about your body you didn't know before in the gym and with your physical trainers. And you come back a better player, a stronger player, and more aware of the physicality.
Nele Gilis, very lightly made. Put herself in very good physical shape. Won't have a massive amount of choice in that. Seen so her husband to be is Par.
Or Superman. It's got to be well, it's got to be. They're obviously a good influence on each other in that department.
I think that's what makes a great relationship.
Well, certainly this is a good contrast to styles. Sarah Jane Perry, of course, every player at that level is fit, but she's renowned for her racketability and her disguise and deception, cleverness around the court. Nele Gilis, obviously trying to improve and is improving in that area, but her physicality, her speed and fitness has always been there, but improved particularly in the last year or so.
As we say, Sarah Jane Perry, the tallest female player on the PSA World Tour at a measly 6 foot. Nele Gilis struggling in the previous rally to try to get round. She'll have to do the extra movement sometimes.
Yeah, it's an advantage and a disadvantage being tall. I didn't used to like playing tall players particularly, especially very good tall players. Obviously, just found it difficult to get it past them. They've got that advantage around the middle of the court, I think, on the volley.
With the reach, yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, if you can get them moving, get them scrambling, and obviously someone like James Willstrop was very difficult to play, but he was more than just being tall, wasn't he? Just a little bit more than that.
Just maybe just a weeny bit more than just standing there being tall.
But Dave Evans, Dave Palmer, those kind of guys, it's difficult to get the ball past them. I'm sure the girls find that with Sarah Jane Perry.
Well, the power on the forehand very evident, and that's got to be careful there, Nele Gilis, on that forehand side of Perry. So many tricks, so much ability, skill-wise from Perry around there. She holds the ball and changes the angles, and if she does go on the forehand, I mean, she's going to have to hit on the forehand, but she's got to make sure that it's deep and it's accurate.
Yeah, I think she's the most creative female English squash player that we've had, probably ever. She's got a lot of imagination on the court. She thinks about the game quite considerably. Good.
And there's the error. Technically, she's got a very good technique, Perry.
Yeah, she's good value too. She often makes one or two funny comments when things start getting a bit close, perhaps, with the referees. Nice. It's more difficult than it looked at because Nele Gilis had to move her feet quite a lot. Oh, that's gone flying. I think it's near us.
Yeah, it's the second ball today. It's the second ball today that's gone flying, and we're only in the second match. See, in Belgium, they play with a higher back wall. I think she's got a really good opportunity here, Nele Gilis.
She certainly has. I mean, so much depth now in the women's game. 26 or whatever she is in the world against number 5. It's not that much of a gap. Well, I think this is what Gilis wants. She wants longer rallies and then more patient rallies and taking the opportunity like she does here on the volley. It's very accurate.
Very accurate. I told you she's game's improved hugely, and she's been really on the cusp, getting a big win. So close. And today could be a day, possibly.
Well, as you mentioned, she's coming off the back of winning a trophy in Ireland. She was number 2 seed actually in that event. Millie Tomlinson was number 1.
She didn't drop a game in that event.
Yeah, fantastic. Tomlinson lost to Alexandra Fuller, and then Nele Gilis beat Fuller from South Africa. Sarah Jane Perry will be not underestimating her opponent in any shape or form. This is a very tough match for her. Ooh, a little bit slow there onto that post.
Yeah, the movement looks a bit weird.
Yeah, that was just not strong and balanced there.
Lob is working very well. She's got to continue with that tactic. Oh, what an opportunity for her.
Well, I thought that was down, Joey.
The pickup, yeah.
Oh, the pickup.
She's asking about the pickup. Well, 2 points originally have now gone. Locked in at 9-all.
That's good work from Nele again, just cutting it off.
She's walloped it in the tin.
Missed time completely.
It's a game ball for Gilis in this first to put some pressure on England.
Well, I think Gilis had a chance of, just about a chance of reaching that, possibly a let, but it's been given as a no let, so we're in a tie break now. So Jane Perry just taking her time.
She's feeling this physically, Sarah Jane Perry. She's...
I don't think that's a stroke, Joey.
No, I don't either. I don't think it's just a weak decision, personally.
But Sarah Jane Perry does not care a hoot, and she has a game ball here in the first.
Okay, this height, the height that she's using and then dropping the ball low is really making it very hard physically for Sarah Jane Perry. See the difference in the way they're hitting. Perry with such power. Will stick to these clever tactics. Nele Gilis. See movement. And there we go.
Played.
It's the lob. Low balls, high, stretching the tall frame. Sarah Jane Perry, the movement out that corner, slightly lagging.
Yeah, Gilis can smell the opportunity here, I feel.
Can she convert? She needs a good service, get the basics right, Parky. Be good to see a real match here.
Absolutely, for the neutrals, just make the tie mean something. Certainly be a big roar from the Belgian contingent if Gilis can win this. Pressure's on. That's well played. It was a good hold from Perry. Oh, she's missed it.
The error. There's the error. Not sure what she's asking. There's nothing there. There's no appeal. So Nele Gilis takes the first game, 13-11. We really have now got a response, to get a response from England. 12-minute first game, some really good quality squash between the number ones of England and Belgium. But it's Belgium that lead 1-0.
Yeah, really good quality first game from Gilis here. She kept the pace high, made Sarah Jane Perry work for every single point. The rallies were quite long most of the time. They're an awkward adjustment. But Gilis looks on it. She looks confident after that win in Ireland, and she's really up for it. There's nothing to lose here. Obviously, she's doing her best to keep the tie alive for Belgium, but Sarah-Jane Perry is the favourite in this match. But we've made it a match now. It's 1-love Belgium. So we've got a match on here, Joey. Nele Gilis looking fresh. Sarah-Jane Perry just having a couple of words with herself. Do you think there's going to be any change of tactics, Joey, from Sarah-Jane Perry?
I am here, Parky. She's got to cut down her errors. I mean, she wants to hit with power, and that's okay to a degree. It needs to be accurate though. She's not going to be able to just hack her off court. So there needs to be a lot more purpose with the hitting, and just cut down the error count. She made too many errors in the first game.
Yeah, too many too many tins, and maybe wrong choice of shots here and there.
And Nele Gilis, she's got to stick with her tactic of getting height when she's under pressure, lots of height, and when she's got the opportunity mid-court and also at the front and she's on it early, stick in that straight drop. She's got a nice flick from the front backhand, Gilis, so if she's showing the straight drop, she can certainly look to try and deceive Sarah-Jane Perry. But this is a huge push. You can see Perry wanting to come out firing, and this is where Nele Gilis needs to try to weather the storm, because again, physically, Sarah-Jane Perry is vulnerable. She's vulnerable. She played very well in Elguna against Camille, but she was struggling from the first game physically, and she used her kind of court craft and her squash knowledge to nearly get a result against Camille.
Yeah, I watched that, and a big heart as well, I feel, because she, as you say, she looked exhausted from quite early on in that match. Well, she's going to have to use all of her courtcraft and guile here against Nele Gilis, who's playing tremendously well here. And as you say, is prepared to run all day long. But it's a more positive start from Sarah-Jane Perry in this second. She has cut down the errors, and when she's got opportunities, she's been a bit more positive going short.
Well, Parky, I know that from the way you used to play the game, and you know, I feel that some of the strokes have been a little bit soft.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nele Gilis had a good point there. She was through, and there's the screen. She's really up for this. furious with that last decision.
Yeah, the volley post off the serve. It's a courageous shot, very effective when it goes right. So 3-point lead here for Perry, and there again the skill set, the volley, the simplicity. If she can do that well, then she can really return the pressure.
Well, that was invisible, wasn't it? It was great technique. Good play from the Belgian. Started with the first drive on the backhand side and got the loose post. Well, Gilis is not getting on very well with the referees this morning. As I said, we don't have the video review for this championships.
No, it's a shame. And there's Yara, so Sarah-Jane Perry gives herself a bit of breathing space. 6 game balls in this #1 string tie. It's funny, isn't it, how it's the squash terminology within team squash is they're known as strings, the matches, but then why rubbers?
I don't know. I don't know the reason for either of those words. But they both mean the same thing in squashed teams.
You know, well, there's the screaming,
Belgian
frustration,
screech.
the Belgian screech. Looking at the referee, obviously irritable. I can understand if she's not had the rub of the green here in Edgbaston Priory. 20 minutes, and it's now 1 game apiece. This is getting exciting. This is crucial for Belgium. If they don't convert this, then they are out of this knockout competition.
Well, whatever the coaching team said to Sarah-Jane Perry, it's worked in the second. She's been a bit more positive. She's cut out the errors, and she's been more careful, going short and going long as well. She's buried Nele Gilis in the back of the court when she's had those opportunities, openings, and Gilis starting to get frustrated as well with herself, with the referee. 1-1. absolutely crucial at the beginning of this third game. Who's going to set out their stall better, more positively, imprint their style on this match? That was a little bit lucky. A wry smile from Sarah Jane Perry.
She did well again, holding the middle. Loose ball, she's improvising well.
Well, she certainly kept the pace high, Gilis, in that rally.
I mean, you have to give a lot of respect with the work ethic, and when you've got somebody like Nele Gilis that is putting a lot of work in to improving her game, and also obviously the physicality and everything else, you will them to get a result, because you know it's you want the hard work to pay off, and it's frustrating when she's being close to converting massive scalps, but she's on the verge, and it's going to come. You keep persevering, Parker. You know fully well that the dam will eventually break.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's known for being a really hard trainer, hard worker, and it's paying off.
She's also known for her pancakes as well.
It's Sarah Jane Perry, one of the best players on the planet, and she's got to find a way to.
Well, she's in the mix massively here, and you know she's got to keep the tactics, taking the ball high under pressure, like I said before, and getting on it quickly at the front, using her touch. Being careful on the forehand side. It's a nice contrast of styles of play here.
Huge contrast. Haven't seen too many tricks from Perry so far. She hasn't had a great amount of time at the front of the court, which of course that's the way Gilis wants it. Just forcing it there, Sarah Jane Perry from the back of the court. Obviously she wants the rallies to be a little bit shorter.
We have just had some information through Paul Cole, who's currently at the hairdresser's getting his hair blow dried, is watching this.
You can't hear the commentary because of the very loud hairdryer.
Yeah, it's one of those giant ones to sort the barnet out, but he's watching his wife to be.
It's probably topless.
It's a hot hairdryer, yeah.
Another long rally here, Joey.
Yeah, but this will all suit Gilis. Oh, not far away, and we know how gutsy Sarah Jane Perry is.
Well, that's the first time I've seen Gilis looking, I mean, obviously she's disappointed with the shot, but a little bit weary.
Well, the tempo is very high.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's high. I mean, this is welcome to the top 10. You know, Sarah Jane Perry before the elbow injury was really knocking on the door of the very top players. She won some very, very good tournaments, and you know, being a former top 10 player yourself, that you know there is a basic tempo that's set. It's been called out again.
I'm not sure that was out actually.
No,
Joe,
I don't.
on the left
she's
side.
getting an absolute nightmare with the decisions.
Oh, maybe.
It's pretty close.
Good lift from Sarah Jane Perry. She made sure she wasn't too close to the line.
It's a real 400. You just see the England bench just continually eating. It's a real habit when they're nervous. They have a right to be nervous because this is a battle. Nele Gilis is getting a second win, but I was just saying the pace is like a 400-metre pace. So, you know, the more that she plays these type of players, that's a lovely service. James Wallstrop would appreciate
but it was
that.
close to the line, wasn't it?
But it was in, though.
It was just. The referee's stitched her a couple of times, though. She's got to be careful. But yeah, you're right, Joe. It's very intense, and I think that's why just saw Gilis breathing quite heavily there. She needed a bit longer to recover from a couple of the rallies. She's really pushing herself.
Yeah, well, she's got another, you know, like I said, she's got the second win happening, but she's got to stick with the tactics. And they're just
breaking down slightly.
Yeah, she is. She's looking frustrated, but she needs to continue persevering, because if she's feeling it, Sarah Jane Perry even. Perry is certainly feeling it.
Not Brian Ferry, Sarah Jane Perry.
He's a good singer. So Perry gives herself 6 game balls for a 2-1 lead. Another error, so a real physical regroup for Gilis. "30 minutes so far for this #1 string match between England and Belgium, and it's now Sarah Jane Perry that leads 2-1.
Well, very impressive from Sarah Jane Perry, showing her mettle as a top 10 player. Obviously, she's had the injury, a couple of, coming back the last couple of months and finding that fitness again. But the accuracy is back, and she's able to really put some work into the legs of Nele Gilis, who's, as we keep saying, she's tremendously fit. But it doesn't matter how fit you are, if you're doing this kind of work, you're going to start feeling it. And there was some heavy breathing and slightly longer rests in between rallies from Gilis towards the end of this, and it's looking good for England.
Back in now. Sarah-Jane Perry taking command. Will we see a response here from the Belgian number 1?
I think we will, because I was just looking at her recovery, and it's the kind of thing you were talking about 400s. I'm sure she's done quite a few of those, Nele Gilis, and she's the kind of player that will get second and third wind. But will the quality be enough? Because obviously Sarah-Jane Perry at AC hitting a lot more accurately and more precise. But they're the kind of occasions, bows like this, that Nele Gilis has to take more advantage of, I feel. First bow, she should have been onto it with the drop shot. Oh, she's made it. She's made it.
Yeah, it was joke hands.
It really was, and I mean the speed, but then the dexterity to actually play a winning drop shot from there is impressive.
Just plopped it in. So an excellent start in this 4th.
That's good hitting from SJ. Wonderful timing. Just the right weight of stroke. Well, they've been quite strict. I think Gilis has had a few against her, but I suppose they're being consistent today with the strokes. Could have volleyed that one.
Wrong. I'm sure that score's wrong. She's had a stroke. She won the first 2 points, Gilis. Is it not 3-2? We'll hear it in a minute.
I think you could be right there, Joey.
I am. It's not 3-2. It's not 3-2, it's 3-all. It's 3-all.
Well, Sarah-Jane Perry is fully aware of the score. It's 3-3. Sorry, 2-3. Just a bit of help with the counting.
It's actually the marker and referee system, so you've got one person that's just dedicating themselves to the scoring,
and they've got that wrong.
Dedicated, all you have to do is just do the score, is it?
Yeah, just caught the nick there on the length. Sarah-Jane Perry, particularly on that backhand side, so accurate into the back corners. There again, just finding a really good line and the angle. And it's a good 1-2 in terms of getting the ball really deep and then hunting the volley drop. Well, she'll be disappointed with that shot, Sarah-Jane Perry. Just didn't get herself set. doing that quite a bit, Nele Gilis, just switching the play from left to right at times, making sure she gets the width, of course, against the fantastic volleyer that is Sarah-Jane Perry.
Well, Perry digging deep. Just edging it 5-4, 2 games to 1 up. Belgians have to win this match.
That's rapid. Does she get that one? She does.
Yeah, it's very good though. It's good pressure. I mean, she was on it early, and the power line.
Yeah, good disguise using the shoulders as well. So a slender 2-point cushion for England. That's nice from Gilis. She read the cross court, anticipated well. That was bottom of the tin, Joey.
Yeah, she's feeling it though, again, physically. Perry. Both the girls have been back and forth with the physicality, and I don't know if Gilis can sense it, but she's got to keep solid here. She will get some reward if she keeps her accurate play. Keeps hustling and scurrying, getting balls back like that. That's perfect. And that, thank you, sir.
Right on cue there, Joey. That was a perfect example of the hustling skills of Gilis. She will chase every single ball down, and the improvement recently has been the accuracy at the end of those lunges. She's getting the rewards here and making it very, very tough for Sarah-Jane Perry. That's the first time we've seen a bit of a flick, a bit of deception from Gilis at the front of the court. She's gone for the drop shot. Absolutely crucial rally, this one.
There you go. It's so evident now, the physicality. She's got to keep her focus because the hunger's there. She's, in a way, so hungry she puts pressure on herself. Massive pressure on herself, Nele Gilis, because she wants to win so much. She's on the verge of those breakthroughs, but she's in a good position here. She needs to keep her head. Sarah-Jane Perry's on the ropes.
I was just about to say that, Joey, to use a boxing analogy. She really is.
And there you've got the, but that's the skill set of Perry. She's on the ropes. The brawl in Birmingham. The brawl in Birmingham, and she's still dangerous.
She certainly is. Be so careful. You can never relax against Sarah-Jane Perry. Well, Perry calling it for the referees.
I mean, the referees here, they've literally called every ball out for Nele Gilis, and then when the ball's out, for Sarah-Jane, it was actually the honesty of Sarah-Jane Perry saying it was out. It's good there's two of them, though.
Got to be careful with the boasts against Sarah-Jane Perry. Get yourself into all sorts of trouble. Oh, great depth again. She's done that so many times, especially into the backhand of Nele Gilis. Sometimes gets a bit tangled up in that corner. So back to parity in this crucial fourth. That's good play from Gilis.
Oh wow, forehand though, she's got the angle, she's done it twice. The outright winner in the back end of this, from the back of the court, she's gone for it, it's paid off. So match ball here for Sarah-Jane Perry.
Well, sometimes a player like Perry, who's on the ropes, is even more dangerous.
And there's the squeeze, so she's managed to hold off Nele Gilis. So close, she keeps getting closer and closer, Gilis. 44 minutes, some really good squash between the two. And it's Perry that takes the win for England in this semi-final.
Well, it was a really good win for Sarah-Jane Perry in the end. She was really pushed by the Belgian #1. It was proving more and more difficult, especially physically, for Sarah-Jane Perry, who's a little bit short on work of late since the elbow injury, but she certainly got the heart of a lion. She pushes so hard. She's obviously got the skill set, but she also has the ability to push herself through some painful times, and in this fourth game she found some winners, and there's the squeeze. Match to Perry and England.
So England convert the win in the semis to put their place into tomorrow's final. I'm not 100% sure if this match is being played between Laura Massaro and Tinne Gilis, but if it is, it's a dead rubber. Myself and Simon will be back for the next semi-final. Now that England have booked their place, we'll wait for the next semi-final in the women's to see who they will play.
3 games. Level. Down. 1 love. Down. 2 love. Down and out. 1-3. Two, three. And out 4-3. 7-5. And out, 1 up. Right off, please. 3, 1. Four, 1. And out, 2, 4. To England, 3, 4. Down and out, 5, 3. Six, 3. Seven, 3. Left box, please. Left box, please. 8, 3. And out, 4, 3. Yes, left.
That's a joke. No. Are you watching the match?
Yes, left. 9-6. Now, 7-9. 4-1. Three, four. And that's 5-2. And that was 4-5. Yes, left. 5-0. Yes, left. Yes, left. 5-4. Yes, left. 5-0. Six, 5. And now 6-0.
Why is that not there? I can't play
Right box. Thank you. Match ball. Yes, left. 10.
Why? There was no contact at all. Nothing.
Yes, left. 10. Left box, please. And out, 11-10, match ball. And out, 11-all. Down. And out, 12-11, match ball. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it back to both players, please.